While sitting, do not let the mind wander away. Just trying to be self-aware. While meditate on objects and try to be aware of your mind. Actually, I told you every day that you have to meditate on objects and be aware of your own mind. The mind is normally subject to two types of characteristics. The first one is forget about the meditation objects. Most of the time, it's wander off to think of other things. The other one is when you send the mind out to see or focus or look at an object of meditations, making the mind stiff and tight and tense. These are two things that you're going to make the mistakes. The people who do walking and sitting meditation are plenty since back then, long time ago. But once they do walking and sitting meditation, they just simply do it without giving rise to mindfulness and samadhi. Therefore, whenever we do walking and sitting meditations, we have to be aware. We have to understand the principle of Dhamma practice. The very important is to cultivate the mindfulness. Yesterday, there was someone told me a story. She's from Nakhon Sawan province, and they've been walking meditation for about 3 hours. They're very old, but they can walk for 3 hours. But their minds become drowsy and on. While walking and becoming drowsy like this, Master, you just said that you're practicing Dhamma, but it's like you're in the bottom and the belly of the elephant. That's happened when you don't have the mindfulness while practicing. Most people who practice sitting and walking meditations, it happens to most of the practitioners, because they don't understand the Dhamma practice, don't understand the principle of Dhamma practice. Because before we doing these activities, we have to understand the Dhamma principles, not just trying to spend the 3 hours not for the purpose of calmness or happiness, because otherwise you'll try to incline the mind towards the happiness and drowsiness, and you think that was calmness. It actually wasn't. It's actually the samadhi that's combining with the delusion. The important things here is that while meditating on an object, we do it not for the purpose of the amount of time or how many steps you can take or sitting for many hours. That's not important. Even though you're sitting from dusk till dawn, but you don't have the mindfulness, it's restless. It's only torturing yourself. The important thing is that you have to have the mindfulness. With mindfulness, to be aware of your own mind, that's the best. That's why I taught you walking meditation. Walk with the self-awareness. While walking, if the mind wanders off to think of other things, you forget about yourself. If your mind wanders off, you don't have to keep on walking. You should stop and be aware of the mind that wanders away. Then the mind becomes awakened and you can continue walking. Or while walking, you might setting out the mind to see the feet, for example. Some people feel that they cultivating wisdom, knows the cold and hot of the floor that they took a step in. It's actually far away from ourselves. We have to observe ourselves instead. If you're looking out, seeing things outside, it isn't helpful much. So while walking and sitting meditation, if the mind wanders off from leaves the object of meditation, you know so. If the mind or focus on the object imitation also as well. This is very important thing. At first, it might take some time for you to see, to be able to see, but once, after a while, keep on practicing. Once the mind wander off to think about things, it will recognize on its own automatically. Why it happens automatically? Because the mind can firmly recognize the mind that wander away. To firmly recognize the phenomena means that you start to develop the Tira Sanja in Bari, which is firm memory, firm recognition, which is the proximate cause of the mindfulness. So while meditating on objects, when the mind wander off to think and know so, wander off again, know so again, and the mind can firmly recognize the wandering away minds. When it happens again, you'll be aware of it as soon as it happens. So if you are angry nature and you try to be aware of the mind that's develop aversion, sometimes you irritated, sometimes you feel envious. These are within the aversion group. It keep on resurfacing. You keep on knowing or being aware of these things. We don't have to try to fix it. If the mind have the aversion also, if the mind develop greed also as well, keep on being aware of these things as much as you can. Once the mind wander off, it means that it develops the illusions like wander off to other things, to think of other things. We have to be aware of it as often as you can. Once it knows much, they can firmly recognize these phenomena. When, for example, once greed arises, aversion arises, the mindfulness will be able to recognize because it's firmly memorized these phenomena. For example, if the mind will meditate on objects, if the mind wander off the things or the mind sending out to see the object imitation, once the mind leaves the objects and wander off to think of other things, the mind can firmly recognize these phenomena, then the mindfulness will arise in all such cases. The mindfulness that happens because of intentions is weak. It's not enough for the wisdom cultivations. But therefore, the wholesomeness that is very important is the strong wholesomeness which happens without intention. Otherwise, it's going to be weak. How could we make it automatic? You have to be aware of the phenomena from time to time, as often as you can. It doesn't mean that you have to always observe the phenomena. You can't command the mind to see particular things for all the time. It's impossible. You have to be aware as much as you can. That's it. For example, while walking, sitting meditations, if the mind wander off to think of other things, forget about your bodies or about the body sitting or walking. Be aware of them. If you can be aware of these as much as you can, once the mind wander off, and you'll be able to be aware of it as soon as it's happened. It can firmly recognize the phenomenon of wandering away. Some people are very angry nature. Once aversion arises, no so. Aversion arises again, no so again. And after a while, the mind can firmly recognize these phenomena. When aversion arises, the mindfulness will happen on its own without intention. Therefore, we have to keep on practicing till the automatic mindfulness arises. It happens because the mind can firmly recognize the phenomena. Because it's often observe phenomena often, and from time to time, and therefore the mindfulness will automatically arise, and it all coexists with the right samadhi. The mind will become stable. If you have the right mindfulness and right samadhi, then wisdom cultivation can be truly happened. Vipassana practices can truly happen. If your mindfulness is weak, your strength is weak, you can't do Vipassana practice because you don't have the stable mind. There was one term called perception. Perception is when you memorize things, and interpretation is not. Master don't really teach this because it's very difficult to understand. Because it can be divided into two. The first one is when you can recognize things. For example, you understand conceptual things. For example, you know that these kind of feelings called happiness, these kind of feelings called sufferings and happy, good, sad, sorrowful. When these kind of phenomena arises and resurface, and you could recognize that this cause aversion. This is when you can recognize the name, memorize the name of the phenomena. You're good, but not that good if you can do this. But if whenever a certain phenomena arises, and you don't have to call its name, but you know that this phenomena arises, and you know that these kind of phenomena will propel the mind, propel the objects from the mind. This means that you can see in more subtle way. So the perception can be divided into two. You can memorize things and there's an interpretation. For example, you memorize that this one is happiness, this one is suffering. Most people, whenever they are happy, they won't be aware of it because they only pay attention to the things that make them happy. For example, see the beautiful flowers and they just keep looking at it. But if you're better at practicing Dhamma, once happiness arises from seeing the beautiful flowers, you'll be aware of the happiness. If you like it, know that you like it as well. So we come to see the true phenomena, not just the outside things. We come back to see within ourselves. But this is not to the level of vipassana yet, because you only can memorize that this is suffering, this is happiness, this is greed, aversion, delusions. You only memorize or recognize this phenomena. But if you have to up level to vipassana practice, you have to have the interpretation. That's this kind of phenomena is impermanent, is interpreted as impermanent suffering in non-self. This is when you have the right interpretation in order to up level to vipassana practice. Most people would memorize names of things and people, roads, where the road goes. These are worldly things. This is the worldly perception. But for Dhamma practitioners, they can memorize, recognize the phenomena. For example, this is aversion arising or the greed arising. This is greed. We don't just wander off to see those phenomena, but we know the phenomena that's currently happening. This is when you're getting better. But if you're even better, you could see that particular phenomena, whether it's happiness, suffering or happiness, good or bad, these are all impermanent. It's arise and stay and falls away. This is when you can see the three characteristics of the phenomena. So just only seeing the phenomena is already good. But to get even better, you could see that a particular phenomenon is actually under three characteristics. That's when you can truly practice vipassana. This is more subtle. This is another level. At first, you might see, for example, the body, the walking meditation with the mind as observer. What do you see? You see the body walking with the mind as observer. This is not vipassana practice yet. But if you keep on walking and you have firm samadhi and swift mindfulness and give rise to the wisdom to see that the bodies, that the things that walking is not us. It's only like, for example, robots that walking. Or it's something that's impermanent. It's because sometimes it breathe out and breathe in. And now it's breathe in, but now breathe out again. And sometimes it walks and sits to see the impermanence of these things. You could see the suppression. For example, sitting for too long, it gives you suffering. Walking for too long, it gives you suffering. Standing or breathing long, breathing out in long, it's too much suffering. You could see the suffering of the phenomena. Or you could see the non-self as well. For example, you see the body walking. It's like a robot. It's just a mass of substances. There's elements comes in and out, flowing in and out. It's not us, not animals, not beings, just an object. You see the non-self of the body. So while walking meditation, you see the body walking. It's good at some level, but if your mind wander off to think about the things that's not good. But if you see the body walking, that's good at some point, to some extent. But if you could see that the body that walking is impermanent, sometimes it's take a right step, left step, or it was suppressed by the suffering all the time, from time to time, and it's not ourself, it's only mass of substances, elements flowing in and out. This is when you upgrade your level to vipassana practice. This is when you interpret the three characteristics of the phenomena. This is the high level of interpretation. The interpretation of the three characteristics, which is the ultimate perception. It's just only be able to recognize the hands or legs or body. That's only normal. See the body walking just normal. Everyone can do this. But if you could see that the mind can interpret the three characteristics that the vipassana, could you tell them apart? If you see the phenomena arising, whether it's physical or mental parts, for example, aversion arises, you can recognize that this is aversion. This is good. Because other people, worldly people, would see the things that makes them angry, not the minds that angry. But if you get better, you see the person arises with your mind. But to go even more subtle level, you can see that the person arises on its own. You didn't command it to happen. It just happened on its own. It happens because it makes contact with the world, and then it's interpret that these kind of things that happen isn't something you're satisfied because you are angry nature. For example, once the dissatisfied object arises and gives aversion arises within the mind, it happens because of the cause. All the things happen because of the cause. With the cause, it happens. Without the cause, it falls away. You cannot command it to happen. This is when you see the three characteristics. There's no self. There's only something that happens from the cause and falls away without the cause, and it cannot not under our control. While walking meditations like Nakhon Sawan province group, they walk meditations to become drowsy. That's not correct, because they have to try to make the 3-hour session. It's not correct. While walking meditation, you have to see the body walking with the mind as observer. When the mind gains enough strength and have enough mindfulness and samadhi, you can see that the body walking is suffering non-self and impermanent. You can see 3 characteristics that you can cultivate the wisdom. Without seeing this, it's just only initial wisdom level, not vipassana yet. Is it difficult? You memorize this person names. This is when you can memorize conceptually. It's very normal. Even dogs can remember its owner. That kind of smell is the smell of the particular food. This is what worldly beings can do. But if you could see the phenomena, can recognize the phenomena, you could see that this phenomena arises, that this one called aversion. The mind can firmly recognize the phenomena, then it gives rise to the mindfulness. Mindfulness arises, gives rise to the samadhi, and which allow you to be able to see the 3 characteristics. It might be a little bit difficult today, but you have to keep on training, observing them. At first, do not just keep on wandering away to see outside things. Just observe within your body and mind as much as you can. For example, if the leg moves, and be aware of yourself, not just like walking and try to make it 3 hours. That's not good. Or you try to incline the mind towards drowsiness or calmness. That's not good as well. Or walking meditation, you have to walk with mindfulness, not without mindfulness. When I teach you to walk meditation, before walking, you have to be self-aware first, and then start walking. You walk for 3 steps, and you might wander off, stop, and be self-aware, and continue walking. At the end of the walkway, stop. Do not just turn yet. At the end of the walkway, if you just turn right away, then the mind will wander to other things right away. At the end of the walkway, stop, self-aware. Do not just hurry turn, but not just like slowly turn for like about 10 minutes in order to turn like that, because defilements will make the defilement slower. So at the end of your walkway, stop, become self-aware, turn around, not in a normal pace, normal way, but do not just start walking again. When you turn around, then the mind will walk before the body. The mind and the body is not coincident, not co-working. So when you turn around, become self-aware, then start walking. You walk for 5 steps and your mind wander off to other things. Stop, become self-aware, and then continue walking. You keep on practicing like this. We practice for the purpose of self-awareness, not for the amount of time or amount of many hours. If you walk from dusk till dawn and you don't become self-aware, you're torturing yourself. You're not. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're walking and your mind become drowsy, and that's not self-awareness. We're not doing this for the purpose of how many hours, like 3 hours from like the standard. It's not like that. What I told you to do 3 hours is actually the beginnings. Back then when I was practicing, since I was lay person, I practiced from dusk till dawn, except from the time that I have to work, that requires thinking. I become self-aware all day. At the morning, I see the mind resurfacing from the sleeping state. Once it moves, it's resurfacing. I don't know what to see, but it's like the mind will switch on the lights. It's as if it's switched on the lights, and the lights could make contact with the mental parts, and the thoughts happened. And then a second switched on, and it made contact with the body. You could see the mind could see the body. So these kind of phenomena happen when the time of waking up. There are physical, mental parts, and all the 6 senses start working, making contacts. For example, eyes see forms, ears hear sound, the nose smells, tongue tastes, the body feels coldness, hotness, vibration. The body feels, and the mind can make contact. The mental parts as well. So the mental parts are very vast. It's actually things that can be known through the mind. It's just not only mental parts. A lot of physical parts can be known through the mind as well. For example, you move like this. You don't have to see. You don't have to open your eyes. You know through the mind. So the vibration, the body moving, is actually known through the mind, not by the eyes. The water can be known through the mind. The wind, the fire, the earth can be known through the mind. Through the body. But for the water element, can be known through the mind. The water element is actually not just the water, the liquid. It's actually the attractions of the molecules. Anyone that used to play with the sand, when you put them together, it's not holding in shape, but it needs to be with some liquid water in order to be able to shape. So the water is actually, or the liquid is actually the ones that attracts all elements together. Without the water liquid, the sand will break apart. Likewise, without the water, the body won't be able to shape. So the water here is not just the blood, but it's actually the attractions. Is it too difficult? I think it feels difficult. Raise your hand. I think anyone's feel very easy. Raise your hand as well. What about those who don't raise your hand? You don't have feelings. You lack of mindfulness. Because you lack of mindfulness, you don't have feelings. Actually, when I taught you and it's become difficult, do not startle, because it taught you because one day you might face these kind of situations and face these kind of things, and you won't be confused. Like Master Luangpu Dun, the last time that I paid respect to him, like 24th September 25, 26, and then half a month later on he passed away. And when I visited him and he taught me Dhamma from midday, and he kept on teaching, talking till evening. He's very unwell, but he's trying to teach me from the beginning of the earth and universe and the process of entering the Nibbana, all the kind of things. It's been teaching me quite a lot. About 1 p.m., 7 p.m., I think that he's very tired. So I said that you're very exhausted. I will leave for you to rest. And he said that do not just go yet. You have to memorize this. When you see the mind, destroy the mind. When you see the mind, destroy the mind, so that you can reach the purification. And I said, I don't understand, but I will memorize it. And he said that memorize it. To understand this sentence took me 20 years to understand this sentence, this phrase. He's saying this amount of, he gave me a lot of information. He told me because nobody's going to tell me. Since I was young, I knew that the noble mind is very spectacular and very good. So I tried to preserve this knowing mind. With being with this knowing mind wouldn't makes me suffering. But he knew that I have the wrong view on this case. So that's why he told me that you have to destroy this knowing mind. He summarized to this phrase to get rid of the knowing mind. I don't understand. I didn't understand back then, so I took a train to after meeting up after visiting Luangpu Dun, I would give visit to Luangpo Put. Once Luangpo saw my face, he asked me, "What is it?" Dharma practitioners, and some of the master can know my name without telling them, like Master Luangpu Bunchan. Luangpo Put didn't know my name. He only asked it. He only called me Dharma practitioners, and he said that when you meet the knowing mind, destroy it. When you face with the knowing mind or the mind, destroy it. And Luangpo Put keep repeating the sentence, meeting with the knowing mind, destroying the knowing mind, meeting the mind, destroying the mind. This is the ultimate stage of Dharma practice. And he said that a week ago, he paid respect to Luangpu Dun too, and Luangpu Dun taught me that whenever you meet the knowing mind, destroy it. Meeting the mind, destroy it, so that you can reach the purification. And he understood it, but I only just memorize. I didn't understand it. That's why Luangpo Put clarified this sentence. To make it happen is not like destroying the knowing mind or the mind itself. Really, it means that we don't hold on to it. We don't hold attached to the knowing mind or the mind. So the breaking point in order to transcend the cycle of samsara is that we should let go of the attachment towards the mind. Without attachment towards the mind, then you can no longer hold on to the five aggregates of the world. Just with this single mind. Like when you gain the first stage of the liberation, you see that the mind is not self, the self is not the mind. There's no self in the mind or self in anywhere in this world. This is the stream mantra. And this is for the beginning of the novel class. If you see that the happiness and happiness suffering is not us, other people can know this, but if you could see that the mind is not us, then it's the knowledge of stream entrance. But if you can let go of the mind, that's the end of the suffering. So Luangpo Put said that you don't destroy it, you just let go detachments towards the known mind. You destroy detachments towards the mind. You let go of the mind. He's very venerable masters, but he's younger than Luangpu Dun. And he regarded me as a disciple of Luangpu Dun. He's only like Luangpu Dun like senior master, but he's junior master. So he didn't want to teach me directly. He's very delicate and considerate. So that's why, and he told me to make some agreement that whenever whoever can destroy the knowing mind first, let each other know. But I thought to myself that I wasn't that stupid, because I knew that this is only the polite way of saying, because I'm not going to be the ones that be able to do it first. He's saying this because whenever he whenever he can achieve this, he could let me know, because we already have some agreement. It's not like when you have the master, already have the master, and the master told the other person, that person who have the master already, that to come to study with me. That's not what people do. Luangpu Gongma, there was a case where Luangpu Gongma Luangpu Viryang is disciple of Luangpu Gongma, and Luangpu Man said that Luangpu Viryang is very good at give massage, and he asked that Viryang, did you ask Luangpu Gongma? Did you ask for permission of Luangpu Gongma yet? It's very beautiful, adequate. Even the disciple of the disciple, you can't just, they can't just like, they just can't teach them. You just have to ask for permissions of his master first. I'm the disciple of Luangpu Dun. He never stole the disciple. But when I learned this, I knew that he's have a right speech. Actually, he gave me the opportunity. If I don't understand this, I can ask him. Just when it's open up opportunities. But it's not like come, I'll teach you. That's not good. That's the wrong etiquette. So the right etiquette for Dhamma practitioners is this kind of level. So after years gone by, and Luangpo Put developed cancer, and so he have to find some place to rest and have to not meeting with people. He went to different monasteries, Pukao Temple, and a lot of monasteries, and I went to visit him at Korat, in Korat province, but I didn't know that. I didn't follow him to different temples. So I haven't met him for many years. So I till 25, 2,400, 2,540 something. He's in TOT organization, company. And when he finished giving talks, a lot of people make donations, but I already did that beforehand. So once the talk done, I moved towards him right away because I have met him for many years, and I told him that I have met you for a long time. And he said that I can remember you. There's only a few Dhamma practitioners, and I said to him that I can't yet destroy the knowing mind. He's from the fatigue state, but when I told him about the destroying knowing mind, his mind was very full of joy and brave and bright. And he taught me that the knowing mind is like an eggshell. Do you know eggshell? Like egg of the shell of the chicken egg. The knowing mind is like an eggshell. Once the chicken inside grown matured enough, then it will destroy the eggshell on its own. Do you understand? If you don't understand, that's fine. You know that you don't have to destroy it. So you just have to raise the chicken, which is the mind, with the good nutrients. What is it? What is it? Can you answer these questions? Morality, samadhi, and wisdom. If you raise the chicken or the knowing mind with the morality, samadhi, and wisdom, once it's matured, fully matured, then the morality, samadhi, and wisdom are fully fulfilled, and it will destroy the shell on its own. What's the shell? It's actually the asava, it's underlying defilements on its own. And the mind will be freed because it's let go of the mind. Once I understood, when I listened to this, I understood right away. But people see that it's like the mind, but the rest of us, when we listen to this, we feel that, okay, the mind is like an egg. When we put in a pan and fry it, it's very delicious. But most people would deteriorate this level of Dhamma, but that's why Master only teach the Dhamma for the people who like from step by step or beyond the step for a little bit. But I didn't teach like that. I teach like putting everything together and give the whole thing. Why? Because this generation of people are very weak. I would reprimand all of you that you're weak because I have to tell you in details like this. Dhamma cannot be understood through listening. Dhamma cannot be understood through reading or thinking. Dhamma can only be understood by seeing, witnessing the true phenomena. So you have to train yourself to observe the phenomena till you can see subtle phenomena, the three characteristics of each phenomena, that when you can attain some fruit. Is it difficult? I've been asking quite a few times, how is it difficult? Anything feel is not difficult? You think that you understand? You only understand through thinking, not through the mind. You feel joy and blossom, but actually when you understand through perceptions, not the wisdom. Because when you understood through wisdom, when you come to witness the truth, you don't really understand it actually, because these kind of Dhamma belong to Luangpu. That Luangpu said that that's the ultimate Dhamma practice. I only told you, otherwise one day it will disappear. Because all the masters, normally they only teach you little by little, they walk you step by step. But this generation of people are not strong. They are weak. They're not they cannot walk to the steps of then so the high level of Dhamma start to disappear. That's why I try to tell you the whole things and you memorize these things. Like Master Budun told me to remember these Dhamma, and one day you will be able to use it. If you practice every day, be diligent and practice, observe the 5 precepts every day, do formal meditations, the rest of your time do cultivating mindfulness. And one day you can use this Dhamma within this life. But if you cannot do it, you can use it in later lives. But you have to start practicing, not just memorizing through the brain. Otherwise, you'll forget as soon as you leave the temple. It can memorize because of the mind can memorize it, not the brain. So you have to fight. I'm not the best. I'm not better than anyone else here, but I'm patient. I'm patient and put up with training myself. One day I could see that the mind was caged. The mind was caged since the day I was born, but I never realized it. There was something covered the mind, caged the mind. I didn't know back then that was underlying defilements that actually cover, die, and infiltrate the minds and cover the mind. When keep on practicing, I could see that the mind was like a prisoner in a prison. We born in a cell in a prison. We live in a prison, but we won't die in this prison anymore. If we can break away, if you cannot break away from this prison, then I would rather die. This kind of mind can persist. But if your mind is weak and what should I do? I'm so tired, or I'm not sure whether I walk or sit in meditation. That's something not good. You have to be strong. If you weak like that, you're not gonna make it. You have to be brave. Some people, when been taught in a polite way, they won't memorize. But when I talk harshly, then it's really penetrate their minds. So that's weird. When they got scolded and become happy, that happened to some people, like the third row of people here. They're happy. You have to do it. To summarize, first, observe the 5 precepts. Intend to have the precepts. It's really need to be preserved. No one's taught you that if you can't observe the 5 precepts, then you shouldn't. That's the wrong view. Very to large extent, because they destroy the morality of it. Talking about the rest of the noble path, that's not going to happen. It's all about the morality, the precepts. If you say that you can't observe the 5 precepts and you shouldn't, that's not Buddhism. That's wrong. That's a bizarre teachings. If you can't do it today, you make it tomorrow. If you make a mistake, you falter, then you have intention to do it next time. You have to set the intentions every day. While when a single day of waking up in the morning, I have intention to observe the 5 precepts. In the afternoon and the evening, I intend to preserve the 5 precepts. Even before bedtime, I did intend to preserve the 5 precepts. I did like this, and I chanted a mantra. To this day, I chanting 5 times per day. Some people say that I don't chanting mantra at all because my mind can be with the Lord Buddha. That's not good. If you have intention to chant mantra, the celestial beings, Deva is very satisfied because they will give Anumodana Sat at the end of your chanting. We don't chant in order for the celestial beings, but it's just a byproduct. Whenever you are in trouble, they can help you. Some they can say that this can be done, this cannot be done, this is dangerous. When the time comes, they can help us. but not beyond our karma.
หลวงพ่อก็เคยเห็นนะอัศจรรย์มากเลย
I used to see this phenomenon as well. I used to have some inflammatory in the back muscles, but I have no paracetamol. I couldn't sit straight. I couldn't lie down. I have to sit like this.
เสร็จแล้วก็นึก
And then I thought to
เส้น
myself,
ทางนี้เป็นเส้นทางที่ครูบาอาจารย์
this
ผู้ลง
path
ผ่าน
is
ไป
the,
ผ่านมาต้อง
was
มีเทวดา
paved
เยอะเลย
by true masters, and there must be a lot of celestial beings. So I try to tell the celestial beings that I came here to this monastery because I want to preserve the five precepts and practice Dhamma. Now I became painful and I live in solitude alone in this forest. Nobody can help me. If the celestial beings can help me, then please do. But if it's beyond your capabilities and it's within my karma and have to bear the consequence, so I will do. As soon as I finish my sentence, the batteries of the light of the lantern just bright 3 times. I thought it was broken. It wasn't broken, but I realized that I can sit straight already.
ไม่สบายออกไป
You're sick? If you're sick, you can leave the room. It's okay.
มาป่วยในวัดเนี้ย
If you're sick, yeah, there's a lot of doctors here.
หมอจะแย่งกันรักษา
The doctors would competing, helping you. Anyone set anybody out? Good that you confess. People who don't raise your hands are the culprit. They don't really want to confess. The one people passed out because they keep on listening, and
เห็นไหมจิตออกนอก
he might he might starving. Number 1.
เบอร์หนึ่งพื้นฐานเจ้าโทสะแต่ก็รักกายชอบ
I'm an angry nature. I love my body, but I like thinking a lot. In formal meditations, I'm walking for 1 hour and sending out mind to see the objects more often. But once the mind wander off to things, I can have the mindfulness to be aware. Restlessness, long time. I could see the intention to fix the phenomena. I try to recap and thinking and criticizing, analyzing things. And then in daily life, I wander away for a long period of time to see the observe the body and defilements behind actions. Paul said that it's good what you practice. It keeps on improving. Do not hurry.
เบอร์สอง
Number 2.
เบอร์สองดีนะเบอร์สอง
Number 2 is good.
เบอร์สองเดินจงกรมวันละ1
I do walking meditations 1 to 3 hours a day. Sometimes I add on sitting meditations by observing the body breathing. In daily life, I use the Buddha as object meditations, be mindful of the body, but my mind drifts away for a long period of time.
เลยนะ
It's correct.
ทำถูกแล้ว
It's punctual.
ทำมาได้ดีเชียวละ
It's very good for your
เบอร์สาม
practice. Number 3.
เปิดกันบ้านง่ายไหม
See, it's very easy to check homework unless
เจอ
I
แล้วแก้ยาก
have to
เบอร์สาม
face with people who overgasting. It's very difficult to fix. Number 3. I use the breath and mantra as object meditation. I felt that my life is separate into parts. Sometimes I maintain the mind. Once I know the mind is bright for a moment, and then I could see the things as they really are. And I walk meditations, my mind is better. But my mind likes to do sitting meditations, but drifting away very easily as well. Whenever that mental phenomena happens, I could see the body and mind are separated. Can you analyze and give me specific ways of doing practice? Oh, is that you're doing like some institutions want me to analyze things? Actually, your practice is good. Number 1, you're still overcasting a little
ตัวนี้
bit.
ต้องรู้ทัน
You have to be aware of this
มั
too.
มันอยากดีมันก็ไปเพ่งเอา
You want to be good, so you overcast
ขอ
on
ง
it.
เบอร์สามที่
Number
ยัง
3,
จุดอ่อน
what
นะ
you
ใจยังฟุ้ง
your weakness is your mind is
แต่
still
กระจายออก
restless.
ข้างนอกไป
The mind is
อย่างขณะ
scatters
ใจมันไม่
outside
เข้า
like
ฐาน
like right now. Your mind is
ก
not
ว้างๆออกไป
on the
สบาย
base.
ๆ
It's not
เปิ
rooted in
ด
awareness. It's like scattered
คอย
and
รู้สึกนะ รู้สึก
comfortable
ร่าง
and
กายหายใจ
relaxed,
รู้สึก
enjoying
ร่างกายเคลื่อน
this.
ไหวรู้สึก
When the body
ไป
moves
เรื่
no
อย
so,
ๆจะดีขึ้น
train like this
ถ้า
and
อ
it'll
ยู่
get
ดีๆ
better.
ใช้ได้
What you practice is
เบ
good.
อร์สี่
Number 3. Number 4. Number 4 is good as well.
เบอร์สี่ภาวนาในชีวิตประจำวัน
I practice
คอ
in
ยรู้
daily
ทัน
life
ใจ
and
ตัวเอง
try to be aware of
อยาก
my
ดี
mind.
ติด
I
เพ่ง
want to be good
เวลาเดินจง
of
กรม
focusing.
เห็นร่างกายเป็นห
When
ลัก
I'm walking
คอย
meditation,
อ
I
ยู่กับการเค
see
ลื่อน
the
ไหว
body
ห
first,
ยุด
and
นิ่
I
ง
try to be
รู้ว่า
aware
ตัว
of
เอ
the
ง
body
ร้า
moves
ย
and still.
แอบอา
I knew
ฆา
that
ต
I'm
แต่
vicious
ลึ
and
ก
like
ๆ แอ
to
บเข้าข้างตัวเอง
malicious
ว่า
intention,
เราคือคน
but
ที่ดีที่สุด มีน้ำใจ
I kind of take
เข้า
side
ข้างตัว
myself
เอง
that
ต
I'm
ล
the
อด
best. I
จะ
think
คอย
that
รู้
I
ทัน ตัว
taking
ต
side of
น
myself, try to
รู้
be
สึกว่า
aware of
เรามีศรัท
myself,
ธา
and
ขอ
I
หลวงปู่
feel
เมตตาชี้
that
แนะ
their
ให้กร
faith
รมฐา
more.
นค่ะ
Could you
ที่
give
ทำ
me
อยู่ก็ถูก
guidance?
นะทำอีก
What you practice is correct.
ทำไปเถอะทำมาได้ดี
Keep on practicing.
เบอร์
Just
ห้า
keep on doing like that. Number 5.
เบอร์ห้าเพิ่มกับเพิ่มการภาวนาเป็น 3 ชั่วโมงขึ้นไป
I increased
ระห
my
ว่างวัน
hours
รู้
practice
สึก
to be
ร่าง
3
กายและ
hours.
พุท
In
โธ
daily
ได้
life,
นาน
I
ขึ้น
chanting
เห็นโท
Buddha.
สะเร็ว
I
ขึ้
could
น
see the
หล
version
งแล้
more
วรู้ได้
often
มากขึ้
and
น
wander
ฟุ้ง
off
ซ่า
to
น
see
รำคาญ
more
ใจ
often.
จิต
If
ชอบ
it's
วิจาร
become
ณ์
restless,
วิ
the
จารณ์ตัว
mind
เอ
like
ง
to
ชอบ
criticize
เอาชนะ
myself. I
บา
like
งวัน
to
สติ
uh,
เร็ว บางวันฟุ้ง
sometimes
หลง
mindfulness
นาน
quicker,
เค
sometimes
ย
it's
เห็นจิต
restless
ตั้ง
long.
มั่นจนขันแยก
I could
เห็
see
น
the
กาย
mind
เป็
is
นแค่
stable
หุ่น
and the
แต่
five I
เห็
get
นไม่กี่
separated,
ครั้
see
ง
the body is
คิ
only
ด
a
ว่าเจริ
robot.
ญปัญญา
But I
ได้
see
บ้า
only a
ง
few times
การ
because
ภาว
I
นาอยู่
think
ใน
that
แน
I
ว
can
ทาง
cut
ต้อง
away
ปรับปรุง
wisdom
ไหม
for
คะ
few times and is there things
ภาว
that I
นา
need to
มาถู
improve?
กแล้วนะ
The boss
ที่
said
ทำ
that
ไป
what your
เรื่อย
practice is correct, but keep
ๆ
on
เมื่อเช้าก็มี
practicing.
ทิศคน
That
ส่ง
was
กันบ้าน
one
บอก
tip
ว่าภาวนา
that
เนี่ย
submit
คิด
homework.
ว่า
He
นี่
said
ถูก
that
นะ
you could see that this is
มั่นใจ
correct,
เลยถูกแล้ว
and
ที่
he
ทำ
firmly
พอผ่านไปอีกช่ว
confirmed
ง
that
หนึ่
this
ง
is
เอ๊ะที่
correct.
ทำ
But
มัน
after
ไม่
a
ถูก
while,
นะ
that
มันมี
I
ถูกมากก
that
ว่า
he
นั้นอีก
did is
บอกไม่
it's
ต้องกลั
not
วหรอก
entirely correct.
มันจะเป็นอย่าง
There's
เงี้ยไป
something
เรื่
more
อ
that
ย
is more correct. It
ๆพอความ
happens
รู้
like
ถูก
this
ความ
from
เข้าใจ
stage
ถู
to
กมันจะ
stage
ชัดเจน
because
แจ่มแจ้งมา
the
กขึ้นมากกว่านั้น
comprehensions would be more
แล้
clearer
ว
and
ถามว่าที่
clearer.
ทำอยู่ถูกไหมถู
So
ก
what you practice is
แต่
actually
ถูกเต็ม
correct,
ร้อย
but
ไหมมันก็
it's
ถูกไป
not
ตามลำดับ
100% correct.
นะ
It's
ไม่
just
ต้องตกใจ
correct from
รู้
stage
ปัจ
to
จุบัน
another
ไป
stage.
เรื่อยๆรู้
You
ลง
don't
ปัจจุบัน
have
ไป
to start, so just try to be
ดี
aware
นะ
in the
ทำ
present
ได้ดี
moment. It's good.
หมู่นี้ตรวจกันบ้านง่าย
It's
เบอร์
easier
สาม
to
ตรงนี้
check
จิตออกนอ
homework
กนะ
these days. Number
เห็นไหม
three,
มันทิ้ง
you're
ร่าง
just
กายไป
sending
แล้
the
ว
mind
เบ
out.
อร์
You
สาม
leave
รู้สึก
your
กาย
body.
เยอะๆนะ
So
ร่าง
you
กายเค
should
ลื่อนไหว
be
รู้
aware
สึก
of
ร่า
the
งกายเคลื่
body
อนไหวรู้สึก
moves
ใช้กาย
and
เป็น
be
วิหาร
aware
ธรรม
moves
ไหม
and aware. Use the
ดูจิต
body
อย่า
as
งเดี
your
ยวมัน
object
ชอบดูไป
meditation because only
เบอ
observing
ร์
the
หก
mind, the mind like to escape very easily.
เบอร์หก
Number 6,
ฝึกสติตั้งแต่ตื่นจ
I
นหลับ
cultivate mindfulness
คอย
since
รู้ทันความ
dusk
ปรุง
till
แต่ง
dawn and I could see
ทำรูป
the
แบบวันละ
fabrication,
3 ถึง 6
mental
ชั่วโมง
formations. And I do
เดินจงกรม
3
ส
to
ลับ
6
นั่ง
hours from
เน้น
formal
เดินมากกว่า
meditations,
นั่ง
taking
มี
turns
ปัญญา
walking and
เห็น
sitting
ว่าจิตอยา
meditations.
ก
Focus
จิต
on
ยึด
walking.
จิตทุกข์
I could see that
จิตไม่
if
อยา
the
ก
mind
จิต
likes
ไม่
and
ยึดจิต
attached
ไม่ทุกข์
without
เห็นจิต
attaching,
อุ
this
ทาน
won't
จิต
uh,
นี้เป็นตัว
won't
ทุกข์
attach.
จิตคือพุท
The
ธะ
mind
พุท
see
ธะ
that
คือจิ
the
ตหนึ่ง
mind is
มี
the
ตัวรู้
Buddha
บอก
and
ว่า
it's
อา
a
การ
single
ใด
mind.
ๆ
It
ที่
is
ป
a
ราก
knowing
ฏ
mind
จะหายได้
and the
ต้องดับสัง
middle
ขารเข้าถึงนิพพาน
middle one
รู้ถูกไหม
middle
คะ
wavering. I need to go where I can enter Nibbana.
เอาปัจจุบั
And
น
is
ไป
it
ไม่เอาความรู้
correctly understand? You have to.
รู้อะไร
It
รู้
need
แล้
to
วก็
be
วา
in
ง รู้
present
แล้วก็วาง
moments.
นะ
We
ไม่ได้
don't
รู้แล้วเก็บ
striving
ไว้นะ
for knowledge. The more you
เราภาว
gain
นา
the
เพื่อ
knowledge,
วางไม่ได้
you
เพื่อ
let
เอา
them go. We won't
กระทั่ง
take
ปัญ
things
ญา
we
เราก็ไม่ได้เอา
sacrificing. Even with the wisdom
รู้
itself,
แล้
we
วก็
don't
วางไป
try to
ปัญญาก็ทำห
hold
น้า
on
ที่
to
ของ
it.
ปัญญาไป
Once you know, let go of it.
ศีล
The
สมา
wisdom
ธิ ปัญ
already
ญาเราไม่ได้
did
ฝึก
its
เพื่อจะเอา
duty.
ไว้
We don't try to train the
ให้
Mirage
เขาทำห
Samadhi
น้า
when
ที่
it
ของเขา
stops
จ
in
บ
order
แล้
to
วก็แล้
take
วกัน
possession of it. It
ป
only
ฏิบั
did
ติไป
its
เพื่อ
duty
จะปล่
when
อย
it's
วาง
done. Then it's done. We practice in
นะ
order to
ยั
let
งติด
go.
เรื่องปัญญา
You
เยอะไป
still
นิดนึงนะ
attach to like
อย่าห่วง
wisdom
ปัญ
too
ญาก
much.
ล้าๆหน่
Do
อย
not worry about the
ตรง
wisdom.
ที่
You have
วาง
to
ปั
be
ญญา
brave.
เนี่ยต้องใช้ความ
To
กล้า
let
หาญ
go of
มา
the
กเลย
wisdom, you need to be brave enough. You
รู้
have
ปัจจุบันไป
not to be you
ทำไป
don't
ได้ดีแล้วล่ะ
have to be feel
นะ
afraid of
ฝึก
being
มากๆเลย
stupid.
ทำอีกนะ
What you
แต่อย่า
practice
ติ
is
ดสัญ
good,
ญา
very good, but do not hold on to
เบอ
that
ร์ 7
wisdom. Number 7.
เบอร์ 7นะฟังคนนั้นส่งคนนี้ส่งนะชักใจฝ่อๆไปหน่อย
Number 7, you listen to these and that
เบอร์ 7
people, your minds
ใน
become
รูปแบ
disheartened.
บปฏิบัติโดยการเดินจงกรมและนั่งสมาธิ
In formal meditation,
ดู
I
ร่างกายหายใจ
practice
ใจ
and
เป็นคนดู
observing walking and sitting
ขณะ
meditation
นั่ง
and
สมาธิรู้สึก
breathing
ถึง
in
การ
my
สั่นไหว
observer.
ภายใต้
I
ผิ
can
ว
see
หนั
the
งกระจาย
vibration
ทั่วตัว
within my
เบาบ้าง
my
แรงบ้าง
my skin
ระหว่างวันมี
throughout
ส
the
ติ
body.
ต่อสิ่ง
Sometimes
ที่
it's
เกิด
hard,
เร็ว
sometimes
ขึ้
it
น
intensifies,
ปรุง
and
แต่
it's
งน้อ
slow.
ยลง เคยเห็น
There's
อารมณ์
less
เกิด
form
ดั
of
บโดย
mental formation, see the rising and falling away of the objects. I see the world changes and I feel bored and I afraid of the cycling of rebirth.
นะถ้าเป็นสมถะ
Papa said that when you do smarter practice, there's fixing things. For example, the mind is not calm, make it calm. It's not happy, make it happy. But during vipassana practice, it's not about fixing things. We just know things as they really are. For example, the mind become exhausted, no soul, and do the calm samadhi from time to time, so that might get some rest. Do not ignore the smarta practice. Do not ignore the samadhi. Just cultivating wisdom alone will make you exhausted. You have to take turn doing between these. If now it's appropriate for you to do wisdom cultivation, do so. But after having cultivating wisdom for a while, the mind become exhausted. Do not keep on observing the three characteristics, but do the calmness samadhi so the mind gets some rest. Like you walk two legs, you can't ignore one leg. You can't ignore samadhi or wisdom. You only walk in one leg and it won't make you go far. It's not good. It's already good. A lot of people are very good today.
เก่งทุกคนนะแต่ไม่เหมือนกันสักคน
Everyone's good. But everyone is different. Each person is good at different things. Each part are different. Number 7, your mind wander off. Can you see that?
จิตไหลไปคิด
The mind drifting away to the world of thoughts. If you can, and you couldn't see it. We don't forbid it to happen. Do not just try to be aware of it too. If you try to observe it, it's incorrect. Number 8. Number 7, you shouldn't think much. You shouldn't overthinking. Just be aware. Number 8.
เบอร์ 8 ชีวิตประจำวันบางครั้งเห็นว่าจิตกับกาย
In daily life, I see that the body and the mind and thoughts and feelings are different things. The things that I see is not us, but I never felt that the mind is not us. I can see the connect. I take turn between walking, sitting, meditation. Whatever the mind knows, whatever the mind do, while walking, the mind will be developing the more better mindfulness. I like walking more than sitting. My progress is not far. Actually, you make some progress. Progress quite a lot actually. Back then, you're not like this. Do more. You do it correctly.
อันนี้ดูแต่ละคนนะ
Each person here.
เบอร์ 1
Number 1
ยังติดเพ่งอยู่นิดนึงนะ
is you stuck on focusing a little bit. Number 2. Number 3. Your mind likes to scatter. So be aware of yourself more. Be of your body more. Number 5. You want the mind wander off to think also. Be aware of the phenomenon. Number 7. Whatever the mind is like, no so. If you can observe the mind, observe the body instead. Keep on practicing so you're getting better and better. We don't train ourselves for the happiness or goodness. Happiness and calmness only the byproducts. We train ourselves to have the right understanding, the right view. If you have the right understanding and right view, and you become more clarified, you understand the Four Noble Truths. So that when you can transcend the cycle of samsara. So that's all for today.